Hello, and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1949. The topic is live consultation offer, and the title is What is it and how to apply? So what I want to do is, I have really enjoyed doing consultations, and I've been doing more of them recently. And it's just super fun, it's super exciting, it's super motivating. Like after every conversation, I leave fired up and excited and just want to crush everything, like in my goals and stuff. It just really puts me in a good mood. I love being able to help people. It feels good for many of reasons. One of it is just it's neat to know that you know something that other people would benefit from knowing. It's also neat that the struggles and challenges I've had in my life have been able to turn into a positive, because through those experiences I learned and can now save other people from those struggles and challenges. And it's just rewarding to know that you've had impact on someone's life, and it's exciting and feels good to see them happy and being able to make progress, especially when they once thought progress wasn't possible for them. So I've really enjoyed it, and I was kicking around the idea of how to just incorporate that more. I do a lot of free stuff, which I love. The daily podcast. We have YouTube channel now where the podcasts are shared on YouTube, but I've also started to create more actual YouTube content. Just starting this year here in 2024, my goal is to do 3 videos a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Eventually, I'd like to do a video every day, have a video released every day, just like I have the podcast released every day. And we have free content on the website. Nutrition information, training information, programs, and a whole bunch of stuff. I absolutely love it. Now, there is going to be a business benefit to this. So I don't mean to hide that or pretend like that's not a thing or a component to it. Is by offering live consultations, and essentially what this is going to be is I recently did an interview with Josh Bryant, who's if you don't know who that is, he's a great coach, just absolutely great coach. He trains people for strength, but also aesthetics and building muscle mass. Really smart guy, all around really good guy. And it was fun to have that conversation. And again, that kind of sparked that sensation I had of wanting to do this. I recorded it via Zoom, and the Zoom had great audio. It had a great visual that we were able to include on the YouTube channel. And I was like, well, this would be pretty cool if I were to interview people, not only be able to make it a podcast, but also be able to make it a YouTube video. And that'll help drive more people to YouTube, drive more people to the podcast, and then vice versa. If somebody comes for the podcast, maybe they'll stay for the YouTube. And then it'll drive people to the website and help increase, the sales of services. So there is a business benefit, absolutely for sure. But anytime I would ask to get something, I like to pair that with giving something. And that's where I thought the free consultations would be great, is basically I'm going to have people apply on the website, and I'll give you more details in a second. My goal is to accept maybe 1 or 2 times a month. I'd love to be able to do it, every single week. But I think at first, just once or twice a month, pick somebody who applies. We do a Zoom consultation together. You would talk about what your goals are, the struggles and challenges you've had towards reaching that goal, and then I would provide feedback to you that you can then learn from, but also the listeners or viewers can learn from and apply as well. Now, for the person who does the consultation, I'll send you some extra information afterwards, but I do want it to be very transparent and very clear of what the information would be, so the viewers and the listeners can also benefit and put that stuff into practice. Why I like this idea is there are people who it's easier for them, depending on income and expenses, to pay for certain services. Some of my services are not super cheap because they involve a lot of time and a lot of knowledge, but we have a lot of a wide spectrum of services. And I want to be able to offer it for free so people can benefit without any money. And then we have services anywhere from, there are some services that are $400, $500 a month, some that are $100 a month. So I want to give people some stuff for free, let them know that they don't have to pay anything to get some help. That's why I do the podcast every day. There's literally over 1,900 episodes of free information. That's an insane amount of information. So I would like to encourage people to use the services to get the help they need, to make that investment into that help. But if you don't know who I am, if you don't know what I know, if you're not sure that somebody can even help you, that's where this live consultation can help. I've trained trainers who felt lost and felt stuck. I've trained clients who have been to multiple trainers and never made progress and thought they were a lost cause. And that's super bummer, like very depressing. So I want to use this as a platform to motivate and educate people. And if it turns into like increased business stuff, obviously that's going to be awesome. But if it doesn't, that's fine. I just want to help more people in more ways. So that's the idea, is if you want to take part in this, you will be being recorded during the consultation, and you would be visually recorded as well. So auditory and visual, because we're going to have the Zoom aspect. So you have to be okay with that. Then the idea is that people can listen to that podcast, watch that video, hear your struggles, and then they can kind of develop that, take that information and develop it and personalize it and make progress on their own. If you want to apply, you can go to our website, just www.brutalirongym.com. On that website, I now just created this morning a new page to the website, and it is titled Live Consultation Application. So you can go to that. And then on there is just a quick form, just name, email, and then a box that you would write, if chosen, what would you like help with? So just give me a little bit of a background of what you want help with. And then if you're selected, I'll reach out to you via email, collect some more information so there's some good understanding of baseline information for when we go into the consultation. And then also we can discuss if there's anything you don't really want public. We can kind of hide around that or hint around that or use different language for it. The reason why I do want a visual aspect is it will draw the crowd from YouTube in, and a lot of people will connect with that story more when they can see the person. Part of like what made me think of this was the Dave Ramsey show. He has callers call in, and he helps them talk through their stories. And we could definitely do a phone call if somebody didn't want to be on Zoom, but I think seeing a person's face, getting connect face-to-face virtually is much more of a deep connection, and it kind of creates a better feel. However, if somebody really wants this, but they really want to do a phone call, we could do that. But I really like that format that he takes the time to help people for free. And I was like, man, that's just such a wonderful opportunity for the listeners to get access to him and to get to learn from him. And I was like, man, I definitely want to do that. So that's the idea of the live consultation offer. I did decide to make this as a podcast so I could pair with it in other ways. I do realize it's not maybe educational podcast today, so if you checked in for this one, I appreciate you listening. But I wanted to get the word out, kind of explain it a little bit, and then encourage the listeners of the podcast. If you are interested, go to the website and sign up. If you think somebody might be benefited by that service, can you please send them that page, the URL, and encourage them to sign up? And if you think this is a cool opportunity for anyone, make sure you share it. If you don't mind, can you please share it on your social media? You can share it by, maybe taking an image from the website, sharing today's podcast as an image. Whatever you do, just if you share it, it will help more people be aware, help more people sign up, and we can get this thing up and running. My goal right now is it's going to be February 22nd when you listen to this. I'd like to start in March, so if we can get applications started and submitted, I'll select 1 to 2 people in March and we'll start this up and running. But I wanted to give a background on what it was, encourage people to sign up, encourage people to share it, If you have any questions, if you need anything, just let me know. My email is brutalironjim@gmail.com. You can always message me from the website as well. So thank you for listening. I appreciate your support, and I hope that you think this is a good idea. Let me know what you think. Shoot me an email and give me an idea of what you might want to see in the consultations or what you think would be helpful as a listener to the podcast. I would love to just hear more feedback to make sure I get this as accurate to what people need it to be as possible. So again, my email is brutalironjim@gmail.com. Awesome. Okay. Well, if you like the podcast, please share the podcast. If you like the podcast, please consider donating to support the podcast, which you can do at our website. Also, if you like the information we share in the podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. You can find us and follow us on Instagram and on YouTube under the name Brutal Iron Jim. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.